Welcome to another episode of On the Deck, and as you can see today, I'm at the Great Lakes Maritime Heritage Center. One of the shipwrecks that's always fascinated me is the Grecian. Maritime archaeologist John Bright is inside, and I don't want to keep him waiting, so let's go. Hey John.
Hey, good morning, Mike.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Welcome.
Wow. Now this is where it all happens. This is where the magic happens, isn't it? With maritime history and archaeology and exploration.
We're sort of like Grand Central Station for all of that. You know, we're not the final destination, but we're a stop along the way, and we can point you in the direction of a deep dive out in the lake, a place to go kayaking or snorkeling, artifacts that have been recovered from shipwrecks and are conserved and on display, or over to the library where you can peruse the archival materials and books. So we can kind of orient you wherever you want to go and take whatever journey you want to take into Great Lakes maritime history.
Well, I'm looking for the platform Grecian, so can you point me in that direction?
It's right upstairs.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
So John, tell me a little bit more about the Grecian. You know, what was its purpose and what type of ship was it?
Well, the Grecian was a steel bulk carrier, and it was built in 1891, and it was built for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to carry iron ore from the Upper Peninsula, where that stuff was being mined, down to the lower lake ports, where it could be refined and turned into steel.
So it was a workhorse of a ship.
It was a quintessential workhorse of a ship, as are all of the Great Lakes bulk carriers.
How many trips do you think it made over its time?
Oh, it would make dozens of trips a season. It would run as fast as it could, load that cargo, take it, unload it, and back and forth again.
So it's, you know, really an assembly line of that sort.
In a way, it's a part of a bigger assembly line, which is how, you know, raw materials were being mined, turned into steel, and then from steel into all the other things that would make.
The Grecian was launched in 1891 by Globe Iron Works out of Cleveland. A marvelous navigator of the Great Lakes, it was a beacon of the booming industry in the Great Lakes communities around the turn of the century. Unfortunately, not even the biggest of vessels were safe in the grips of Shipwreck Alley.
It's always surprising to me when one of these big freighters sinks. You know, tell me a little bit about how the ship met its demise.
Well, it was June 1906. It was traveling through the St. Mary's River. The ship ran aground. It was salvaged, sort of refloated, and was under tow to Detroit for additional repairs when it sort of cracked open along the journey, started filling with water, and was lost just south of Thunder Bay Island.
The crew escaped on lifeboats, and no lives were lost on that summer day. You can spot the stern at 75 feet below the surface and enjoy the rest of the ship resting at 100 feet.
I know you're an avid diver, and you've had the chance to check out the Grecian firsthand.
Yes.
What is your first impression when you get down there?
The first impression, and I think it's probably the impression a lot of people will get if they were to go diving on it, is the sheer immensity of something that size. It's over almost 300 feet long, sitting upright on the bottom of Lake Huron, and when you're a 6 foot tall human next to that, you can't help but be pretty awestruck with just the size of that object there on the bottom of the lake. From the surface you would have no idea there was anything even down there. You put your head in, you descend down, and then up out of the blue comes this large, intact shipwreck.
The Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary is now what the Grecian calls home. But its tale lives on, and you can learn more about the shipwreck at the Great Lakes Maritime Heritage Center. I hope you'll join us next week for another episode on the Deck.